Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Hamashiach Yahushai. I want to give double honors out to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone for bringing this truth. You know, and I also want to give honors to the Akim that's out here pushing this truth and sincerity to the four corners. Shalom. Right now, what I'm gonna talk to y'all about, man. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. These prophecies are coming to pass, man. You know, you can see it every day in current events and current affairs that's going on. You can see it. You know, there's no mystery. It's happening. You know, and a lot of people ain't paying attention to it. You know, but the elected Yasharala, Lord willing, will, you know, notice it and see it when it happens. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the prophecies. A lot of people don't understand what's about to happen. So we gotta bring them up to par. I'm gonna go to the book of Ezekiel, and it says, I'm gonna hit Ezekiel, this chapter 9, verse 1, and it said, "He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand." Okay? Now that person that they're talking about is the government, is you know, the government of America. You know, what they're gonna do is they're already oppressing us, but they're gonna really tighten down on us. You know, it's gonna be rough, especially with Trump in there. You know, he's just fulfilling prophecy, so it's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be tough. You know, and it says, and pay attention, it said, "He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near." So that's the authority, you know. "Even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand." So they're going to come with weapons. "And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with the writer's inkhorn by his side, and they went in and stood beside the brazen altar." So basically what that's representing right there is these people finna get together. They finna get ready to declare martial law. So they finna oppress the people, oppress the Israelites, really, mainly. You know, and they come in, weapons drawn, and all of that. And let's get to the third verse. It said, "The glory of Yahweh of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city," which is America, "through the midst of Jerusalem," which is basically, when he say Jerusalem, he's talking about the Israelites. You know, he's not talking about a place, he's talking about a people. And then it says, "And set a mark upon their foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." So all of us who out here that know, that's eyes are open, who's in this truth, who's trying to obey the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, he's talking about us. He's talking about all of those people who's going through the tribulations and understand and that's crying out. He's going to put a mark on the heads of those people, of his elect. And let me say it again. He said, "As the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, throughout the midst of Jerusalem," so throughout our people, "and set a mark upon their foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite." So that's the ones that's not gonna make it to the kingdom on this first go around. Who's gonna actually see the second death? You know, those people ain't gonna make it. But the ones that are gonna make it are the ones who suffering the afflictions. You know, and the curses that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua put on us for our disobedience, and that's catching these curses. So, and then it says, "Go after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity." So he basically said he don't give a damn if they old. He don't care if they young. He don't give a fuck if it's your brother, your sister, you know, whatever. What's up, bro?
What's up? What you doing?
He said, "Go. I'm out here preaching His word." Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, "Go through there and smite."
I hope you get a lot of views off there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of views out there. Hey, shorty. You know who you is, man?
Yeah.
Do you know you're an Israelite, man? Do you know what that means? Do you know why we going through what we going through, man?
Yeah, you talking about the Bible.
I know, I'm saying, no, I'm not talking about church Christianity. I'm talking about right now, here, right now. Do you know who you are?
Gangster disciple.
You're a gangster disciple.
Yes, sir. Oh, shit. Okay.
But do you know how important you is?
Yeah, we know. There's a disciple all around the world.
Okay, man. Hey, it's gonna be cool, man. One of these days, I'm gonna catch y'all coming through here, man, and I'll be able to actually talk to y'all, man. Y'all understand what I'm saying. This is important stuff, man. Time is getting short, man. It's getting short. Y'all don't even realize how important y'all is, man. And then it says, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto them, defile the house, and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth, and they went forth, and slew in the city. And it came to pass, while they were slaying them, and I was left, that I fell upon my face and cried and said, Ah, Yahweh, thy power, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel in thy pouring out of the fury upon Jerusalem? So he wanted to know, man, you know, you killing all these people, is you going to kill everybody? And then he said unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness, for they say, the Lord hath forsaken the earth, and the Lord seeth not. And as for me also, mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. So the deeds that you doing, the things that you're doing right now, the deeds that you're doing, he's gonna give you those back. If you out here wicked, you know, not trying to obey, not trying to do the law, statutes, and commandments that he gave us, not trying to listen to the prophets, you out here standing in the ways of Esau, defiling yourself, disrespecting Yahweh Shem Yahweh. He's going to return that favor to you. He said, because you said y'all think that because y'all haven't been seeing people walking around doing miracles, that it ain't no God, that he don't see us. But he see us. And this is what he said. He said, then he said unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceedingly great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, the Lord has forsaken the earth, and the Lord seeth not. So he's going to show them that I see everything. I know what's going on. I know what's happening. A lot of people don't understand why we're going through what we're going through. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me. And then it says, this is continue on to Ezekiel 10. And it says, then I looked and beheld in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubim. The cherubs is, you know, like they like angels, but they're not angels. They like messengers of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And what this talk about is, you know, it's a lot of people, since when you've been little, you've been hearing about UFOs and flying saucers. And they, according to Esau, they supposed to be aliens or extraterrestrial, you know. And it's they kind of on point when they say extraterrestrial, because they are not terrestrial. They are terrestrial, and yes, they are extra, but they're not what you think. They're not aliens from another planet. There's no such thing. So, he said, then I looked and beheld in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubs. There appeared over them as it was a sapphire stone, as the appearance of the likeness of a throne. And he spake unto the man clothed with linen, and said, Go in between the wheels, even under the cherub, and fill thine hand with coals of fire from between the cherubs, and scatter them over the city. And he went in my sight. So, that parable, what that's representative of, when he told them to go and scatter these coals over the city, over America, that's a parable, and it's representative of the ICBM nuclear missiles that's going to hit this place. It's going to be fire. That's the start of the lake of fire. Okay? Because at first, he came through and he smite all the Israelites, 2/3 Israelites. And the ones who had the mark, they was left unblemished. Now check this out. It say, now the cherub stood on the right side of the house when the man went in, and the cloud filled the inner court. Then the glory of Yahweh went up from the cherub and stood over the threshold of the house, and the house was filled with the cloud, and the court was full of the brightness of Yahweh's glory. And the sound of the cherub's wings was heard even to the outer court, as the voice of the Almighty God when he speaketh. And it came to pass that when he had commanded the man clothed with linen, saying, Take fire from between the wheels, from between the cherubs, then he went in and stood beside the wheels, and one cherub stretched forth his hand from between the cherubs unto the fire that was between the cherubims, and took thereof and put it into the hands of him that was clothed with linen, who took it and went out. And there appeared in the cherubims the form of a man's hand under their wings, like this. And when I looked, behold, the 4 wheels by the cherubs, one wheel by one cherub, and another wheel by another cherub. And the appearance of the wheels were as the color of beryl stone. And as for their appearances, the 4 had one likeness, meaning all 4 seems to be one object. Okay? Now picture that. These are 4 wheels, but it's not 4 separate objects. There's one object with 4 wheels. And then it says, and as for their appearances, the 4 had one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel, when they went up on their 4 sides. So imagine a saucer spinning a wheel, and then it's got another wheel, and it's spinning, and then you got 2 more wheels, and they're spinning. That's the UFOs they've been talking about all the time, right? But that's not, and you're gonna see them, and they're even visible now. People see them all the time, you know. And this is the description that I'm trying to give you. And then it says, when they went up their 4 sides. They turned not as they went. So, you know how an airplane or a car or anything, when it's moving, it turns. You know, UFOs don't do that. UFOs do like this. They movements be like this. They'll be standing still, and then they'll take off, and they'll go this way like that. They move like that. They don't turn and do all that. They move in an unnatural way. So the scripture said, when they went upon their 4 sides. They turned not as they went, but to the place whither they had looked, they followed it. They turned not as they went. So wherever they went, they didn't have to turn to go there. They just went there, as I was just describing to you, the way it moves. And then it says, and their whole body and their backs and their hands and their wings and wheels were full of eyes.